Welcome back in. Time for the breakdown, talking about the wild world of American education today. And we begin with this question. Is the American education system broken from K-12 all the way up to elite universities? The Trump administration, they seem to think so, and now it's taking action. The Department of Ed now issuing a proposed rule to hold colleges and universities accountable if the typical graduate of an undergraduate program does not earn as much as a high school graduate. If that's the case, then those programs will no longer be able for federal student loans. Big win or big loss for all those drama majors or basket weaving majors are there, because they're dependent on that. So how you look at this? Meanwhile, on the public school front, we all know that more and more money keeps getting spent on education, but is it yielding results? That's a fair question. So when you compare test score data from around the country along with current spending per pupil, you get a massive cloud of points, meaning no correlation whatsoever. According to the data translation, more spending does not necessarily mean better academic performance. And parents aren't stupid. They realize this, which might explain this. A massive increase in homeschooling over the past several decades. According to the National Home Education Research Institute, the number of homeschooled students in the U.S. in the year 1980, everybody, just 20,000. And the number today, staggering, 2025, 3.5 million. So it's clear that more money isn't the solution to the crisis in education. And if it's not, then what is? Let's talk about it. Here now, former New York Congresswoman Nan Hayworth, along with reporter at Campus Reform Emily Sturge. Pleasure to have you both on. Emily, welcome to the program today. I'm going to start with you. I also want to point this out here when it comes to money that we're spending. U.S. per pupil spending, inflation adjusted, has roughly tripled since the 1970s, with essentially no improvement in the NAEP scores. That is the National Assessment of Educational Progress. That does not seem right. What the heck is going on?
Look, the president is operating the education system like a business, and that's exactly what's needed to restore outcomes. If a product is failing, you don't keep throwing money at it. And the same exact thing goes for degrees. And for far too long, we've been reporting at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform that universities have been selling ideological degrees at six-figure costs for students. And guess what? They don't translate to real-world jobs. At Harvard University, a gender studies degree runs up a bill of $350,000. At Bowling Green State University, well, students there can study pop culture. They can study Taylor Swift for a price tag of $130,000. Taxpayers shouldn't be forced to subsidize any of these degrees. And, of course, none of these degrees are helping my generation find jobs, which is exactly why only 12% of Gen Zers are able to find a job before graduation.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Congresswoman, where's all the money go, though?
Well, it has gone in the largest proportion, actually, to administrators.
Oh, there it is. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, and I knew you knew too, Bob. And that is a result of, actually, the overwhelmingly growing federal presence in education ever since the Department of Education was established in 1977, and during that time, as you pointed out, there has been no improvement basically whatsoever, and certainly not a commensurate improvement in results. Instead, what has happened, basically, sad to say, but is that the what I call the education government complex has become both the indoctrination division and the extortion division, primarily for the Democrat Party. If you look at political contributions from professionals in education,
we talked about this,
they are, as you have discussed, they are overwhelmingly for the Democrat Party. And that is
not even close.
No, not even close. And that's a very dangerous situation. It is being funded by American taxpayers. Institutions that do not participate in any federal programs, like Hillsdale College, and there are others, Grove City College, in fact, have tuitions that are a third, roughly, of those at institutions that do participate in these programs, because institutions that don't actually have to prove they are providing value. And that is the way it should be. We should withdraw all of these federal programs and let families, students, and the market decide.
So indoctrination and administrators living high off the hog.
Indeed.
Basically. All right. I also want to point this out here. According to the NAP's Nations Report Card, in 2024, only 35% of 12th graders were proficient in reading. And in math, only 22% were proficient. So, Emily, got to ask you this. Are we headed towards catastrophe in our country down the line at some point with people who just aren't smart? And I don't think I'm out of pocket saying that.
You know what? I'm hopeful, but chances are the parents of a student down in Louisiana, well, they probably know more about what their child needs and their education than the feds do in Washington, D.C. And lesson learned, the feds here in D.C. in government offices, they don't know much about teaching math and reading, but they're really good at spending billions of taxpayer dollars with little to no outcome to show. And after billions of dollars spent by our Department of Education, our nation's report card shows that our students, 70% of 8th graders still just aren't proficient in math and reading, and the problem persists at the college level too, where academic ability is declining, standards have been lowered, and that's exactly why it's time to end the Department of Indoctrination, cut the waste, fraud, and abuse at the K through 12 and college level, and send that money back home to the states.
And end subsidizing my degree in basket weaving, or drama, as was written in the script there. All right, Nan, Emily, got to leave it there. Good to see you both.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks so much.